No, which one? Instagram, probably.
Make you do wrong, babe. Early.
You got your phone right,
That's a good question.
Rob?
Yeah, my phone.
It don't matter. Everything ding, 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 going off in the house.
Yeah, everything be going on.
Everything be going on in the studio here.
Seafall Podcast coming right at you, and you know what we doing. We about to talk a little bit, and we're going to talk about something that is rarely talked about in our community. And tonight we're going to talk about health, but we want to be basic enough so people don't look at us like we crazy.
Health, we mean health.
Now, I've been around for a little bit. I've been living 2 years longer than these dudes, so I've been around a little longer than them, and I learned a little more than them.
A whole 2 years.
The whole 2 years. We talking about health. Which one?
Yeah.
Health and what?
We talking about health, and we just talking about basic. When you talk about health, the more basic you are, the easier it is for you to comply. And we talking about being able to talk about health and be able to comply with what it is. Now, of course, we come up in the era where what mama made, that's what we ate. We wasn't being taught a lot about what we're supposed to eat and how we're supposed to eat. We had to learn that as we got older. We had no understanding about it, but we knew if it came to the table, that's what we were supposed to eat. And what we got from it is what we got from it. We got some nutrition, we got a lot of flavor, but how much nutrition we got from it is yet to be seen in its totality.
So how deep are we going with it?
We're going to stay basic, and we're going to just talk about some of the things that the human body needs. And we were getting that. You know, we always got our starches, we got our vegetables, and we got our protein. And those are very important for daily health. Mm-hmm. But now as we got older, we understand that the human body needs 8 essential things. Now you can go a little bit more when you start breaking it down into all these different categories. But if you just think about protein, vitamins, minerals, water, carbohydrates, fiber, fiber, and I said vitamin, mineral. And when you think about potassium and all that stuff, that's included in what we eat.
Rob's counting over there.
That's right. What I said so far,
7.
Rob.
You get 7.
All right, so out of those, that's 7? All right, let's go. Let's stay right there. Let's stay with 7.
So we're doing
right
7 or 8 essential.
I'm gonna do 7.
7.
Because the other one, it always eludes me when I do all of them. All right, but those are the essential things
That was smooth. You saw how
that
you did
we
that?
need.
That was smooth.
That's what we need as optimal. Those are some of the basics.
Which one we need the most?
Well, it's hard to say what we need the most because we're talking about just overall a balanced nutrition. You know, of course, we always talked about and we learned the pyramid. Where they had your fish, your proteins, your dairy, your breads, and and the different things. We all knew about that. Mm-hmm. But as you get older and you really start to understand health, you know that maybe that had a lot to do with that was a marketing ploy for the dairy industry and for the meat industry and for a lot of different things. But it wasn't really total nutrition.
Uh-oh.
In that sense.
That's how Oprah got sued. He said
because it's almost impossible to get everything we need. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna add supplements to that list. That'll be 8.
What kind of supplement?
And we'll talk about that too. I'm gonna add that to the list because
of the 8.
We don't get enough servings of vegetables. We don't get enough servings of fruits in a daily basis so that we can make sure that we have the right amount from those. You know, God is so wise that fruits do different than what vegetables do. Mm-hmm. So if you got a diet like we grew up, I don't remember eating a lot of fruits. We had a lot of vegetables and carbohydrates, and they made sure we had our protein, but I don't remember a lot of fruits, which also add antioxidants and free radicals and all that different type of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's as you go more involved in nutrition.
I got a question.
Let me hear it.
There you go.
question is does hot sausage?
I'm listening because we ate that. Yeah,
go ahead.
I mean, that was that was our nutrition growing up.
Does that consist of a protein?
Yeah, where
That's
is
a
that?
protein
Is
for
that
sure.
a protein?
Where is that?
But it's loaded with
Hot
saturated
sausage.
fat. It's loaded with saturated fat.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
See,
go.
saturated fat is the one that our diets had a lot of.
Okay.
And that's why in our community we have a lot of consequences from saturated fat.
Okay.
Which is high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. All of them are connected
Pig feet.
to high saturated fat.
Pickle pea, pig feet, right? All of that.
Yeah, all that. We ate all that. That was because, like I say, we were uninformed on a lot of that. You know, I was a vegan for 20 years, so I learned a lot about nutrition, especially being able to be on both sides.
Now you back to hot sausage now?
No, it's hard to go back to hot sausage. Hot sausage was just flavor, and we do a lot now. We do a lot of stuff now for flavor.
Okay.
But keeping it back on what we talking about, nutrition, and how important is nutrition to have optimal health.
Now, when you say carbohydrates, right? Now we got the complex carbs.
That's different.
That's all the pasta and all the stuff like that.
Complex is more like sweet
Breads.
potatoes. That's simple. That's simple. Complex is your sweet potatoes. Your what's that, barley malt? It's those are you know, it's hard to get though. Molasses, all that stuff is complex where actually your body could use it and burn it. I mean, the brain has to have carbohydrates. But we grew up eating potatoes, white potatoes.
But the vegetables is considered a carbohydrate, right?
Minimal,
Salads.
yeah,
Salads.
minimal.
Okay.
Minimal. That's mostly fiber, water, and you get a little protein from our vegetables, depending on what vegetables you eat.
Yeah.
So as I led with saying those different things are important, protein. So a good source of protein nowadays, as we have educated. So let's take the list and break it down. So protein, good sources of protein, if you want to be optimal health, it should be a plant-based protein. That's the most absorbable. That's the best. The highest, of course, is alfalfa sprouts. What they give Angus cattle, and all the biggest cattle, they give them alfalfa.
What about buckwheat?
Buckwheat, no. That's going to be more on the other side, carbohydrate.
From the Little Rascals?
Mm-hmm. You talking about that buckwheat, that dude there? All right, go ahead. All right, so protein, a good source of protein. Of course, we eat a lot of chicken breasts.
Yeah.
You know, we growing up, I don't remember eating a lot of chicken breasts. We ate a lot of chicken, pork chops, sometimes liver. We ate a lot of liver growing up.
I hated liver.
Steaks and all that. So we had a different source of protein. But we're going to talk about just what's good for us to have as a protein. If you have to eat meat, the chicken breast is a good source of protein. You got your fish, your white fish, your cards, your haddock, all those different white. Those are good source of protein.
Freshwater fish.
Yeah, freshwater fish is a little different. The haddock, those are all deep sea.
Yeah.
But freshwater fish, you about to say brims and specks and all that?
Yeah. I grew up eating that, man.
Yeah. That's different.
Right
That's but it's still a white. They still consider it a good source of protein.
My mama
But how much of that we ate?
Cane pole.
Yeah, they for one time they was talking a lot about pork as a new white meat.
As a new white meat. That's right.
That came out. That was a campaign going on for a little while to try to get people buying more pork because people was laying off it because they understood how detrimental pork was for consumption. So they made a campaign,
right?
And but I still say, you know, if you could avoid pork, avoid it. It's some of the cleaner white meats that I just said, those are some of the best ones. If you have to have meat, salmon. If you have to have meat, you want to go those routes, the clean and the Cornish hens. If you have to have it.
Wild caught.
Well, most of the Cornish hens are wild caught.
No, I'm talking about salmon.
Wild caught salmon, yeah. All right, so now then carbohydrates.
Wild caught.
Why not? You know the difference? You taste the difference?
Yeah, I taste the difference. One has a real fishy taste.
Which one?
Farm raised does not have that fishy taste.
Well, farm
wild
raised.
caught have that fishy taste.
That's supposed
Well,
to be
they
better
got
for you.
controlled nutrition with farm raised. They feed them only pellets.
Yeah.
And ain't no telling what's in the pellets. I saw some ingredients, but I ain't worried about it. That's why I always, if you're going to do wild caught, you got to do the sake.
Okay.
And that's wild caught because they eating krill. You can just see the color. Look at the color.
Yeah.
So if you, with proteins, you want to stay protein. If you have to have flesh foods or meat, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
All right, then
No steak.
fiber is another one. That's what's on that list of the 8, which is very important, and which the American diet lacked a lot of fiber. And
So
that's
where we
whole
getting
grains.
the fiber from?
That's your whole grains. That's your millet. That's your couscous. That's all the whole grain type stuff. What else you want to go? Whole grain breads. Ezekiel bread is a really good one.
That's
for
nasty.
carbohydrate.
Oh my God. She have no taste.
The brain
I
has
tried
to
eating
have
that.
it. The brain has to have it. Sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I eat
Really
sweet
good
potatoes.
carbohydrate. Yeah, that's one of the number 1 carbohydrates. Usable.
Can't eat that shit.
Get it in, get it on out.
Can't eat that, man.
Which one? Which
but
one?
this is what
Ezekiel
these are the
bread.
things you have to
I tried
learn.
it. I tried
But
it. I just-
there
it
are
has
others
no
now.
taste.
There are others. Ezekiel is one. That's sprouted grains though.
Okay.
So that's why it's heavy.
Maybe
That's
I'll go
why you
back
can
to
taste the
eating
grain. It's real chewy because it has sprouted grains. So you can go with other stuff that's not sprouted.
I tried making a sandwich with that one time.
What kind?
Yeah,
what kind?
that's
God.
you're
What
gonna
did-
chew a lot.
What
You
did you try
gonna
to
chew a lot.
make?
Sandwich.
A sandwich.
Yeah.
See,
Tried
when
making a sandwich.
when I was vegan now, and you want to be in control. One thing about being a vegan and growing your own food and vegetarian, and all, you could control your what comes into your family a lot easier than if you relied so much on flesh foods. Because if another pandemic happened where everything was controlled, shut down, and all that, you wouldn't have a lot of access to it. But if you grew your own, we grew a lot of our own stuff. That's the best. It's hard to do. You got to get educated to grow your own food and live that way.
Yeah.
Which that's the Bible talks about that type of living, being able to live on those terms. And then if it gets extreme, then of course, like Elijah had to run and hide. Then the ravens brought him food. God provided.
And now you're talking about a fast-paced society. So what should people eat in a fast-paced society instead of processed foods?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You want to be able to control if you want to be able to control that most as possible. So in the fast-paced society, you want to be able to make everything convenient but still healthy. You make all your stuff. You prepare your stuff at home. If you're gonna eat chicken breast, you're gonna eat the cod. You do that. But if not, then you're gonna have to make your lentil loaves out of beans. You got to use a lot of beans. That's another fiber, good fiber and carbohydrate. All your legumes, your beans, white beans, navy beans, all that, butter beans.
See, all that stuff what you saying right now.
That's fiber, carbohydrate, all that's really good. And protein.
But look, everything what you're saying right now, that takes one word, discipline. And I think that's the main thing that's missing in this society. When we talk about
education, though.
education,
A lot of people just don't know about that. There's so many ways to, you can survive off beans.
Just beans by itself?
Just beans.
And what
that
else?
white navy bean. I saw something where Farrakhan posted, and he was talking about how Elijah Muhammad and them talked about it. Now, before they talked about it, of course, it was always known that navy beans had all those essential vitamins, minerals, proteins, fiber.
That's what's in the bean pie?
So he was
What's in the
telling
bean
them,
pie?
I believe that I believe it's navy beans.
Navy bean.
If I'm not mistaken, but
Let's research that.
yeah, I remember eating them, and them bean pies delicious too. Delicious. Yeah, I just want to shout out to the brothers making them bean pie. But he was talking about how people ought to be preparing by stockpiling navy beans, white beans,
What are they preparing
because they were
for?
so nutritious. Just to have them in case something happened. What's that? Yeah.
Navy beans.
You could survive off of it. Where you could just have that beans and cut up your carrots, your onions, or whatever, and those are hearty meals. You'll be able to feed your family off just navy beans.
How much protein is in one of those pies or
I wouldn't know.
nutrition?
Depending on the size.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put a lot of sugar in them. But now, if you make them without all that sugar, and you may use maple syrup, molasses,
Man, that's gonna
or
kill. That's gonna kill all the nutrition. The
But
sugar.
I just do the soup.
I'm talking about The bean pies.
Yeah, bean pies. That's different. They just making pies to market. Market the whole aspect of it. All right, so we're talking about fiber, right? We're talking about fiber. Those, all the beans are you want to be able to have a variety. The number one thing about our diet, the human diet, it needs to be full of variety.
Okay.
So that we can get the proper amount of nutrients. A lot of times we don't have enough food. We don't have enough balance. Variety in our diets. A lot of black folks don't eat a whole lot of different nuts and seeds and grain and all these different things. And that's maybe I don't just say black folk. Maybe a lot of folks just don't know how important it is to have that variety. I eat a salad every time we eat, and then we eat breakfast with your oatmeal. You want to eat fruit every time you eat. And so all you're doing is just adding more nutrients to your diet so that your body could do all these different things now, because I don't even want to get into that now, the fad diets and all these different diets that came out as a marketing tool. So all these people made a lot of money off of these things. That's because people didn't know the basics.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking about fiber. All right, so carbohydrates, we briefly talked about that. Mm-hmm. And you'd be good with your sweet potatoes, with your whole grain breads, with your all your squashes, yellow squash, butternut squash.
I like
all
squash.
Those are good carbs too.
Yeah.
And you got protein. The amazing thing God did is put a little protein in everything.
You forgot about fats.
We coming to that.
No.
That was good.
Of the 8.
That was the other one. I added what I told you. What I put.
You put no.
What I said. Let's add that.
Micronutrients.
No. Damn.
But yeah, it is fats. That's it. It's fats.
Yeah.
Okay, now since you brought that up, you're so smart, man. I really don't know how this show works without you. All right, so because you're so smart and you said fats,
I know more
what
than
you think about
when
you think about fats, Stank?
Okay, so we talking about the proper fats, because of course the body do need fats, right?
For sure.
So we talking about the right fats. So the right fats is going to be.
Oh, you saying facts?
Fats, FATS.
Okay.
It's a fact that you need fats.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. That's better.
That's how I fixed that up. Right?
Okay, good.
Well, the one fat that come to my mind is avocados.
Okay.
Right?
That's a healthy fat, isn't it?
It's a healthy fat. Yeah, something say healthy fat.
What's a bad fat?
All of the oils and all that shit. What they call that shit?
Vegetables.
What you said earlier.
Cooked
What?
A hot sausage.
Hot sauce.
That's a bad fat.
How's that a bad fat?
That's saturated fat.
Because what it's cooked
It's
in.
loaded with,
Because
no,
it's cooked
what
in.
it's made. It's made with pork. And that's saturated fat. That clog arteries.
The pork itself don't clog the damn
Pork
arteries.
clog arteries. Yeah.
It's what you cook the shit in.
But now remember what sausage, what them hot sausages
cook a
made with.
steak.
Vinegar. Listen. Think about a hot
You finna
sausage,
prove
Rob.
my point.
Remember how we used to squeeze all the stuff out of the. All right, first of all, that's pig intestines.
Yeah,
That's
a
making
mixture,
the
a
thing.
mixture of this stuff.
So now that's all they snouts. Everything you could think of is in a hot sausage.
okay.
That's all fat. Saturated fat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. That clog arteries, right?
So what's the good fat?
You just named it, avocado.
Avocado.
Yeah.
The proper oil that you can use, like coconut oil, to cook your food in.
No, I mean from food. All your nuts.
Yeah.
Walnuts, Brazil nuts, pecan, that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff that we don't really think about.
Right.
Well, I mean, we come up eating pecans and peanuts.
Yeah.
Only raw stuff, cashews, raw cashews, almonds.
Georgia pecans.
Yeah. So those are some of the examples
Pay attention, man.
of good fats.
You talking about?
You.
Me, I'm
So now, all right. So now we
taking
said
notes.
fats. Fats is really important because fats help the whole process with building muscle and protein. You know, taking that protein and helping us build muscle. Fat is very important.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you reiterated that to make sure that. So you got a clear idea on what fats, some good fats.
I just told you.
No, I'm saying you clear on that.
Oh, yeah, I know what it
all of the nuts and seeds, you know,
Yeah.
all the nuts, seeds, grain.
You don't
all
know
that,
what you're
that's
talking
fat.
about, man.
All right, yes, sir. We're at 20. Okay, we're at 20 minutes, and we Chief All Podcast, and we talk about nutrition, some of the things of our past, and now as we have matured, we understand a little bit more about health and nutrition. And with so much out there, it's important to at least know the basics, because every time you click on YouTube, somebody talking about nutrition, and I look at it because I've been involved with vegetarianism for over 30 years or even longer.
And we doing
so
a part
I
two?
like to see it.
We doing a part 2 to this because we just said everything, laid out half of it, but we didn't.
Well, we got a chance to cover fats,
Okay.
Protein, and some good carbohydrates.
Let's talk
There's
about
some
the
other
daily
ones we
diet.
got to talk about.
Let's talk
so
about daily
we'll
diet
be
now.
coming back at you. Are we live still?
Are we?
And we'll just come back for a second half live. We'll be right back at the second half, and we'll talk about some more of these essentials to optimum health, the basics. I said optimum health?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Optimal health. We'll be back. Yes, we did.
We good?
5, 4, 3.
This is a nasty flavor.
Chief All Podcast back at you, and we live. Are we going on our second segment?
Part
Are we
two.
talking about health? Now we're gonna really get into some of the stuff, and Rob asked some questions, and we're gonna talk about the others that we miss. We talked about carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and even some. We did fats. Now we're coming into the other segment, and let's talk a little bit more about some
You
other
did
options.
snapper, fish, and he was talking about wine.
We'll talk about some other options so we can be basic as possible. Come on with it, Rob.
Pink snapper, man.
Red snapper.
No, pink snapper.
Okay, the pink snapper.
Where you catch that?
Pink snapper.
Yeah, where you get it from? And what's the question about it? Is it what?
Is it nutritional?
Depending.
Is that part of nutrition?
All right, if it's from the ocean, if we talking about stuff from the ocean,
It depends on the fish.
Oh, it depends on the fish.
I
Oh,
guess
okay.
so,
Oh,
yeah.
the pink snapper.
It's a
Oh,
healthy-
okay.
it's a
snapper. I
healthy
know,
fish.
I never heard of the pink snapper.
I
Never heard of the
it
pink
either.
snapper before?
No, I never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Pig snout snapper, I think. Is that a pig? No.
I said pink, P-I-N-K.
All right, okay. When you talk about it a little bit more, but any of the fish, they always
Good
used to talk
politician
about
right
that.
there, boy. That's a good
You
politician.
know how they used to say about that. You know how that. You got to be on your pivot at all times. You got to be on your pivot at all times, baby. Yeah. But what we didn't cover was also vitamins and minerals. This is why it's so important for the variety in our diet.
What about
We
trace
didn't
minerals?
taught. We weren't taught that. Those are. They came along. See, you want to get most of what you need from the food you eat.
Okay.
That's why you want variety. Now I mentioned supplements. That's what I added.
Supplements.
And you brought fats.
Mm-hmm.
I find supplements being important because we don't get enough from what we eat.
Okay.
So say for instance, if you ate oatmeal and you didn't eat no fruits, then for lunch you had a salad with some chicken. Then for dinner you had a piece of fish and some a baked potato, whatever. So you may, and that whole day, if you continue to eat like that, you will be missing vitamins and minerals because a lot of it wouldn't be in the food that you consumed.
So you got to supplement it.
So that's why I feel if you get really high quality supplements, like I take a men's one a day, and it adds all your A, K, all the different vitamins that you need to maintain optimal health.
Okay.
Of course, the ideal would be
You said
how
the
you
A.
eat.
You said the A to K.
I said A
K.
as in Adam, K, and D.
Okay. What about
C.
47?
Okay. Say that again.
47. I don't know what he's talking about over there.
Said
I don't know what that is.
Said A, K. Then I asked you about 47.
Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
All right,
Go
yeah.
ahead. All right.
But
I'm sorry.
that's why it's important to have the variety.
Got you. Okay.
Vegetables and fruits. A lot of people don't eat a lot of fruits. Ray, we always talk. He eat a lot of fruits and all those different things, and it's important. I gave an acronym and that I used to talk about a lot. It's called New Start, and it's just saying how in that New Start it talks about a lot of different things. It talks about nutrition, exercise, water, and that's what should have been when I was talking about the 8-2. A lot of times we don't get enough exercise. And how much is enough exercise? It's a bunch of charts out there. But the number one exercise that everyone can do that will help maintain health is just walking. If you just walked 30 to 60 minutes a day, that'll help. That'll give enough to maintain a nice level of health. Now, if you want to go in a little bit further, you can get a little bit more advanced, and you can do some jump rope. You can get a little portable trampoline, and you can do some different things, and that helps to keep the circulation, keep the lymphatic system flowing right, and your body could stay in a good health because we made the move. What else? And then that's exercise, very important. We could go into detail more if you got any questions. But then they have water.
That's the most important.
Water. Now here's the formula for water.
Of the 8.
Yeah. Here's the formula for the water. Half your weight in ounces is the easiest formula. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to consume 100 ounces of water daily. Now, when we were growing up, we drank water from the hose whenever we were thirsty. And they always say when you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated, which means you already lost, you're behind. You're trying to catch up.
Right.
They talk about drinking water when you're not thirsty and just drinking water. We should be sipping water all the time so that we can keep ourselves flushed out. Because, we Christians too. So I always go back to the Bible because what it says, what God said, and the dew was upon the face of the earth, and God formed man from the dust of the earth. Now, I always like this formula because I say, look, the ground had to be moist so that God could scoop up from the earth, form man, and he breathed into his nostrils. We go back to dust when we die. But while we living, we have to keep a certain amount of moisture so that we don't start to have all the effects of the lack of moisture.
Don't say moisture no more.
Remember when I told you a story when I first got into
What's
the ministry.
the effect of not having enough moisture?
I told you not to say moisture no more. I told you.
All right, so here's a lot of different things. I remember a doctor said that she told her whole practice, she didn't prescribe anything. When they came with ailments, no matter what it was, headaches, acne, whatever they had, she just said, start drinking a gallon of water a day, then come back and see me. When she prescribed that, all of those little problems that people had, they was going away. Because once those are, it's almost like the body is drying out and you start to have all these different complications. If you drink water, it would be hard for you to have high cholesterol, and all of the different things, if your water levels, because you're not going to eat as much when you're drinking your water. everything balances out.
Let me ask a question, like if someone was asking out there.
It's
So
hard.
trace minerals, that's in water too, right?
Not all the time.
Not all
Most
the
of the
time.
water we drink now
That's
is
in
distilled.
spring or distilled. What?
It's a lot of time people buying that water from the stores. That's distilled water.
What about city
And it's in
punch?
plastic bottles too.
Plastic
That's not
bottles.
good either too. But that's a whole nother subject. But
City
trace minerals, a lot of times people add that to water. You're
Yeah,
not gonna
trace
have
mineral
all
drops
trace
and stuff
minerals
like that, yeah.
in even in that Mountain Valley you got
Yeah.
that spring water. It don't have all minerals.
trace minerals.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. It just got more
What
more
are
minerals.
trace minerals?
Yeah.
They are essential minerals that's not found in the common drinking water. It's just minerals that's very essential to like what we're talking about, optimal health. Those are minerals that you really need.
So does alkaline water have all of the trace minerals that you're talking about?
No, alkaline water has alkaline.
Well, spring,
Which is
spring water would have more trace minerals in it than.
So how do we find?
Natural spring water, where you actually see it coming off of mountains.
Yeah.
That's the best way you can find how much you can get from it. And that also has alkaline too.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we're in a society now where people find ways to make money and market different things. All this stuff 20, 30 years ago, I didn't see none of this stuff. When we became vegetarians 20, 25, now it's about 30-something years ago. When we first started, man, there was nowhere to find nothing to eat. There was maybe one health food store starting to open up. It was very different. None of this stuff you hear now, alkaline, none of this stuff was issues that long ago. Now people have found ways to market all this stuff, trace minerals.
To make money on
But
it.
don't you think we were
alkaline.
Don't you think we were getting some of those nutrients in our food at that time? We weren't eating proper, but we were getting some of the nutrients in the food. So
Depending on if you were eating a variety of all that stuff I was talking about.
Here's what
It's hard to get all of it.
Here's what I say, right? I think the food wasn't as processed
there you go. That's what I wanted to say.
as it is now.
Yeah, that's for
then,
sure. I mean,
Like,
it wasn't
around,
because
like,
it
my
wasn't a
grand- like,
market.
during my grandmother's days.
Oh yeah.
During
That
my
was
great grandma days.
we were
Like even my mom days. Like even you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like now it leads to question like, okay, like there's been like a real increase in cancer. And where does cancer come from? If you ask me, it definitely is in the food supply.
Well, studies show
So-
that cancer is already in your body. It's just that we eat crap to help enhance.
How is cancer already in your body?
I'm not a doctor.
Well,
but I've read something. Let me
just
explain it.
to answer that question.
Yeah.
Answer that question.
They cannot identify the cells unless it goes over 1 billion. We have cells, cancerous cells in our bodies, but when you start having problems with cancer, the cancer cells are overtaking your T cells and all the other cells, and it's starting to take over, and that's when you start to have all those problems. But it has to be over a billion for them to even detect it being a problem for you. So, we have different ailments, but like they say, cancer can be directly traced back to flesh foods, processed foods, high sugar diets.
Help
They could-
enhance it. It can help enhance it, Rob.
They could trace a lot of this back to those.
And the garbage that's in it from pesticides, maybe things like that, that doesn't help too.
Is there cancer in pink snapper?
I don't
I
know.
would imagine.
Is cancer in pink snapper?
I would imagine if you can be a little bit more
Specific on it.
specific about pink snapper.
But if it's moist pink snapper, is it cancerous?
I don't know. I hope not, because I know you eat a lot of pink snapper. It sounds like it.
I hope you just don't do this to this show. I just hope you don't take this show in the gut.
what's his word for the day? What's Rob's word?
I just really
Moist,
hope-
moist.
I just really hope you don't take this
Oh,
show
God.
to the depths of the sea.
Hey, I told you to stop saying moist. Now you gave Rob his word.
All right, so don't take us off, man. Don't take us off track.
Hey,
we
so
talking about an important subject, okay? Fat
I
face.
asked a question. You didn't answer.
We
I can
talking
ask
about
a question,
important. I
can't I?
told you don't be talking about no stuff that you don't want to go into details about.
Pink snapper.
I just
Pink
listen.
snapper.
I asked you a
All right,
question.
okay, red snapper. That's what you saying? I go with
No,
that.
I
Red
heard what I
snapper.
said. I said what I
You know,
said.
yellow, red, but he wants pink.
It's,
Okay,
it's
but anyway.
mangrove snappers and all that. See
Okay,
how we
mangrove
always chasing rabbits.
Okay, they,
All right,
they
get
ain't
back
so
on topic.
rabbit.
So let's go back on
Where we
topic.
was at?
So let's talk. The people who want to hear it real fast or that are listening, what's a good nutritional? I think everybody's body is different, but what's
Calorie
a,
intake.
Yeah, no, you can't say that because body weight and everything's different too. What's a good thing, a healthy kind of baseline thing to eat every day? Because
All right, see, I want to be careful with that. What a lot of people say.
what's that?
About the calorie
Everybody different and all this here kind of stuff like
I'm
that.
not saying everybody's
God-
different.
The
I'm
human
talking about-
body
I'm
is
talking
what
about
it
body.
is.
I'm talking about what you take in.
The most sophisticated piece of equipment on planet Earth is the human body. It heals itself. It does all these different things if you properly do those things. That's why I talked about the new start, because the human body just needs to have proper nutrition. You got to, it's a lot. Everybody should know that. By now, everybody should know that you can't carry you behind the McDonald's and Wendy's and all these different places.
And everybody don't know that.
By now, more than it did when I started.
And then we
That's
started.
for doggone sure.
He said when you started. When we started.
When I started being a vegetarian,
when you're
that far
vegetarian.
long ago.
But you did that for
Well,
nutritional value.
Well, listen,
so
even
Yeah.
back in the day,
people don't want to do that.
Exercise, water.
we talking about
Who
McDonald's.
don't know? It's
Talking
very
about
few. I say that. I ain't gonna say people should or everybody should know. Very few people are not aware that the human body needs a certain amount of water. Very few people.
That's essential. But remember, you said
And then-
everybody can't eat the same thing too. You know, you say no.
But that's another
different.
marketing ploy.
You think so?
With the body types and eat for your type. That's just a marketing ploy, just like with the Atkins diet. All these different diets. I didn't want to go into the diets and the fast. I'm just dealing with the basics.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
yeah, because
Diets.
he can eat a whole
Because-
chicken. You can eat a whole chicken. I can eat a whole chicken. It's going to affect us
Anybody
differently.
eat a whole chicken is a glutton.
He said a glutton.
If you can eat a whole chicken sitting in one place, you got worms.
It depends on how big
half
chicken
a chicken
is.
and rice.
You gotta
Half a
take
chicken
one.
and rice. Half a chicken and
All right,
rice.
let's go back to what we.
Half a chicken and rice.
There's a
It's going to
standard.
affect everybody differently.
See, I don't like we got a standard because we Christians.
Okay.
We believe that the Bible is the standard. All right, so we got to be able to have a standard. So what we talking about, basic health nutrition, is a standard that most people will follow. There's those anecdotal people. There's that people that may have different situations, but normally you need to have good nutrition, exercise, water. What's that? New Start. You need water. You need to have sunshine, which gives you another good form of vitamin D, the best form, because
wrote
everything
this
else
down.
is synthetic.
Why you write
I
this
wrote it
down, Rob?
It's in the text I sent it. So
Okay.
it's a New Start. All right, so it's nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance. Now this is important because temperance, it just helps you understand. The easiest way to understand temperance is to just get rid of everything that's bad and to use those things that are good judiciously. Now that could be your word for the day, judiciously, because your eyes lit up.
Let
when
him
I
say
said
it.
that.
Let's say it. Say it and go.
Say that.
Judiciously.
Okay.
All right, now-
But
So-
I was more on temperance. So let's
All
get
right,
the
temperance.
definition
That's
of temperance.
that's what it is.
So we did
just-
sunshine. Now we doing temperance.
So no, we need the definition of temperance. Maybe
I
we,
just
maybe
told
we
you what
could
it
put.
was.
But
To-
no, I want the.
Oh, you want to
Webster's-
read
I want
Webster's.
the
You want to hear what
Webster's
Webster got to say.
dictionary.
You don't want to hear
for-
what I told you. You
No,
want to hear what
I
Webster.
want to hear what you're saying. But
Got,
you ain't-
he gonna tell us, but while he looking up temperance,
Okay.
that's temperance,
okay.
Air.
air, fresh air. That means that goes with exercise because you got to be able to take in that. Even some people say when you wake up in the morning, go outside, do those 10 breaths, 10 deep breaths to open up your lungs and get all that stale air out from when you were snoring all night and sleeping in there in your room, passing gas in your room and all that there. You know how you do, Rob.
Temperance. Controlling one's actions, desires, impulses, and achieve balance.
Controlling one's
and avoid
actions,
extremes.
That's to be the easiest way, balance. Avoid extremes. So temperance is important in your whole
Put it on the
walk in
screen.
your life. All right, now where we was at, we got air,
Air. Now rest.
rest. Here's another one that's very important that people don't realize. The human body only heals when it's asleep. And we are a country that they had a statistics studies maybe 15 years ago that came out that said that they could attribute most of the situations that happen in our country to lack of sleep, divorce, car accidents, violence. That study brought out a lot, but it was due to lack of sleep. Now they say 6 hours is good,
Yeah. If
and
you
it's
sleep,
not.
you ain't doing shit.
They said in that study that if you getting 6 hours of sleep, you're a walking zombie. That's what they said in that study.
Wait, what do you mean? Only 6 hours? That's not good.
If you getting 6 hours of sleep regularly, as the most sleep you getting, and you think you're doing something, they said in that study by the American Medical Association that you're a walking zombie.
Well, Rob is sitting zombie because he get like 4 hours, 4 hours sleep.
So sleep is very important. 8 hours is ideal. 9. Now, they even broke down when you need the most sleep in your life. And that time where we stay up the most as teenagers, from 15 to 20 something years old, they say you need 9 hours of sleep. All them kids in college that don't sleep, and that's the most important time to have sleep when you're in college and when you over 60. That's what the study brought out. I'm dropping heavy knowledge on you tonight, Rob. I know you want to say something.
Well, no wonder when I call you, you always be asleep.
I got to
because you're over 60. Yeah. Damn, you know what? Like, moment.
Is that what it is?
You just look at
Every time I call him, hey man, it can be about 11:30.
Sleeping moist.
A
Yeah,
lot of times I be just playing with you.
Hell no, your ass be sleep.
A lot of times
I don't
say,
like that shit, man. Yeah, man. Hey.
Yeah, a lot of times I'm playing with you. But anyway,
but
it's
hold on,
important.
Let me
What's
say
the
this,
last?
right? That make a lot of sense, right? And let me say this, right? Whenever I do get 8 hours of sleep, and I do not sleep, I mean, I'm sleeping about 6 hours on average, right?
Yeah, you're a walking zombie.
But no, I'm never a walking zombie.
Yeah, I can tell.
But I've learned how to adapt.
Here we go.
To that.
I knew the bull was coming, man.
No, I've learned how to adapt to it,
the bull was
bro.
coming, man. You
But
can't adapt to it.
Listen, man, I know how to operate.
We just learn how to function.
Okay, well, I've learned how to function. Okay,
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a bad thing. Because what
Well,
I was
I'm
going
glad
to
you said
say,
that.
no, listen, what I was going to say that whenever I sleep late, or if I sleep 8 hours, right? If I go to bed, the only way that I'm sleeping 8 hours, I literally have to go to bed. I have to be in the bed by 8.
You wake up groggy.
I got to be in the bed at 8 or 9.
Which is not
Because
a bad,
I can't,
not a bad time.
Because I cannot sleep. It's really hard for me to sleep past 6.
When that sun come up and you see that sun,
No, my body, there's an internal clock. I've been doing this.
it need to be reset. That's all, man.
Okay, well, no, it's all right to get up early. There's a such thing as called the 5 a.m. club, right?
Yeah.
But you got to be in the bed early enough in order to get up at that time.
Because that's what the good book
Exactly.
say. It's foolish to go to bed late and wake up early.
So my point is, and I've been foolish for some years now, right? I will say that.
That's all right.
But to your point, whenever I sleep, I get in the bed early and I sleep in 8 hours.
Spit it out, man.
And I sleep those 8 hours. Guess what? I feel a whole lot better.
There you go.
You had all of that,
man.
went through all
Spit that out, man. You did all that.
Man, because your ass kept interrupting me, man.
I wanted to because I knew you was going to do something stupid.
15 minutes to say he feel better. Getting
But all right,
extra sleep.
I love him, and I love him. All right, so
You know what?
now
I can't
what's the
even say
last
shit.
one? The T that we was talking
Trust
about.
in God.
Trust in God. Now, some people might not like that.
You forgot P.
Who might not like that?
No, I said he forgot the P.
No, we're doing the
P.
start.
New
one.
start.
We're doing new start.
There's no P in that new start. There's no P in there.
How you spell? Wait, how you spell start?
Just put a P at the end.
Okay, start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Start.
All right. So
Pink.
all right. So and trust in God, which is the foundation of all
go
of
ahead.
that. What I just talked about.
Okay.
And that's the easiest way to do it. Now, it's so many different things out there. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I've been around these little years that the Lord has allowed me to live, and I know and I see a lot. Mm-hmm. And I see it's very hard for the human body or the human folk to be balanced. This is one of the most hardest things for us as humans living on this earth is to be balanced. We either far right or we either far left.
You right or left?
I try to stay here, man.
Here we go.
You on
I
the
try to
right
stay right in
side
the
or
middle.
you
we
to the
go.
left?
No, I try to stay right in
You
the
a
middle.
leftist?
Here we go.
That's that term. Now you using terms.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't want. I know you love politics.
Here we go.
And I don't want to get into them politics.
Hey, man,
we
go
talking
ahead.
about health tonight.
Okay.
Can we talk about health?
You said
Trump
right and
supporter?
left. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
I know you love Trump. You want to bring him in every conversation.
Hey, man, who said anything about Trump?
Okay. I just want to let's get some health out. Any questions over there, Vic? The screen went off there. Ain't no question.
David, is it safe to eat one balanced meal per day?
That's a good question. I was going to say that.
Okay.
Remember that bodybuilder?
Okay, repeat
I
the
wanted
question.
to say something.
Repeat the question.
A question was, is it safe to have one meal a day? Now,
Remember the body before you say. Remember the bodybuilder I told you about that said
Yeah.
eat once a day. Now, break down what nutrition should you have within that.
this is what I was thinking about as the day went on.
It depends on the person.
Because just to get
You can't
close
say
to
that.
the
He
question,
said everybody the same.
Go ahead.
no, I'm saying because we set up a certain way. We misuse a lot of stuff now. Fasting is known from when Jesus fasted for 40 days.
Right.
He's historically is where we really understood how important fasting was. And then Jesus himself said out of his own mouth, when referred to a demonic man, a man that was possessed by demons, he said, this kind only comes out by what?
Fasting and praying.
Fasting and prayer.
Right.
So fasting was a way of showing God that you really needed his help. And by showing him, you are backing away from food, which is a major necessity. I don't want to eat. I'm going to stop eating to show God how important it is that I need his help. So we have taken fasting, which was a spiritual, which is something that's for spiritual strength,
It turned into a
and
diet.
for asking God for something, and we have turned that into a weight loss tool.
Yeah.
Fasting is not a weight loss tool. You can lose weight and burn fat and do all that from that, but it's not from that. It's not for that.
Let me ask you a question.
It's
Let me
to
play advocate
deny
to that.
yourself and plead with God for spiritual strength and
Some people might
guidance.
disagree with you. Only this, because that the origins of that, yes. But you don't think that God, remember, God gave us wisdom, continue to search for wisdom and understanding. So you don't think that what you're saying is true. However, you don't think that he was also trying to teach us that, gourting yourself with so much food, putting so much food inside your body is not a good thing. Like today's society, stuffing yourself with so much food that's not good for you. He's also trying to teach gluttony. He's trying to also teach us, like, look, you don't need to do that. So also fasting can help heal the body, because you heal the body when you starve yourself with certain foods and let your body regenerate.
Yeah, that's a benefit from it. But originally, it was talked about in that sense.
I believe that. Yeah.
It originally for that. But now, they always say, what they say: eat like a king in the morning, eat like a prince in the afternoon, and eat like a pauper in the evening. Now, what is that saying?
Biblical?
That's just yeah. You could just attribute that to, Christ and people in the Bible. They, gluttony is a sin.
But you got to
So to
answer the
eat too
question.
much food, to go along around what Ray was saying, to eat a lot of food at one time and eating food all the time, yeah, it's going to overtax the organs. It's going to overtax the body. So Devon asks, is one meal a day, is that sufficient? Now, it depends on the workload and the things you're doing. If you were a construction worker and you working physical all day, one meal ain't going to work. I've done it. If you did a lot of those. So it depends on what you are doing physically. I mean, for your work and what you do daily. Somebody who has a sedentary job, there's no reason for them. Their body doesn't require a lot of all those calories to do the job that they're doing. So you want to use as a gauge too on what type of work you're doing. When I was out there physical work, one meal wasn't gonna work, Jack. And I'm telling you, and that's how our bodies are designed. The more exertion, the more calories and intake the human body needs. If you're sitting at a desk all day, there's no reason for you to be eating a big old breakfast, a big old lunch, and a big old dinner, and all you're doing is sitting to a desk all day.
You just proved my point that everybody can't eat the same.
Everybody, that's what I'm saying, but that's not based on your body. That's based on your workload.
That's what I meant earlier. Everybody.
No, I thought you was talking about what they talking about for your type, eat for your type, and all this type of stuff.
There's a book called Eat Right
The
for
body
Your Type.
is the body is a machine.
That's blood types. Yeah, that's blood type.
Yeah, that's blood type. The body is a machine, and the machine needs to have. So if you ate 3 little small meals, which are high, all those different nutrients, took your supplements, that's different. But I'm not even going to condone one gigantic meal where you can't even move after you eat it, and then the rest of the day you're not going to eat. So you gotta be. That's where the temperance comes in. At you got to be temperate in whatever diet and whatever way you're trying to eat.
So give me an example of how can a person really know if they're being gluttonous? If they're you follow what I'm saying? So
Number one, how they feel.
Okay.
How they feeling after they eating.
Right.
If they feeling real sleepy, real groggy, feel worn down, tired, they eating too much food.
Okay.
Yeah. And they stool. Remember, how your elimination's coming. I ain't trying to get all, but we grown folks in here, man.
How you taking the shit?
How you boo-booing?
Okay. Huh? You didn't have to curse, but I understand.
Yeah. And then but the main thing is how you feeling, man.
Okay.
And when you're on that optimum, when they used to say it like this here, one of the most expensive machinery you can buy is an aircraft fighter, or what we as humans we make, or a space shuttle or whatever. Those are some of the most expensive things that man makes that has to have a certain type of fuel. Now those are man-made. The human body, and those are man-made, and you can't put anything in them. You have to have a certain fuel for them. The human body is the same thing. It has to have a certain fuel for it to run optimally. If you load it down with a lot of fats and sugars and all that, it's not going to perform as well. You put high octane stuff, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and grain, the human body performs at a high level with depending on what you're feeding it.
So do you think that everybody needs to keep their body, everyone's different, but you should keep your body alkaline, right?
Of course. And that's food. That's alkaline food. Seeds, nuts, grains, vegetables, fruits, and all those different things. Those alkaline based. Meat is acidic.
Right.
Immediately. And loaded with saturated fats, cholesterol.
So what about gut health?
That's a
good question.
It's the food.
Gut health.
If you eating all those fruits, nuts, grains, fibers, it keeps that system regulated.
Because a lot of
where you have healthy eliminations.
A lot of disease start here in the gut.
Well, disease period. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right.
Disease period begins in the gut. Right. And that's only because it's putrefying. The only thing that rots in our bodies is flesh. Flesh rots and putrefies and causes all different problems. And it seeps back out of the intestines into the bloodstream. And now you start to have all those different problems.
Okay. Gut
health is the best gut health. That's why the argument about us being carnivorous. Every carnivore has a short, small stomach. Comes in, goes out right away. Every herbivore has a long digestive tract where it takes long to break down all those nutrients out of the greens and all the vegetables, deers, antelope, all of them. So a tiger has a short, whatever comes in, it can't sit because it's going to putrefy and they're going to get sick. When we take on all that, eating all that meat and all that food, it's rotting in there and it's putrefying, and then you're starting to have all these different problems. You can't use the bathroom like what it was. You said you went to the bathroom 2 months ago. See, by doing that, you put yourself in the bathroom.
That's why he's moist.
Bro, I go to the bathroom 2-3 times a day.
Which is fantastic. That's
without
the rule.
A problem.
The rule is
I don't eat beef,
every time
pork, and none of that stuff. I was about to say shit, but my
you
bad.
always
I hope you don't eat that. Yeah.
Every
No
time
beef,
you
no
eat,
pork.
you should eliminate. I hope we answered your question, Davon. Is that okay? Any other questions?
Davon need to come on as an alias because he's the only one asking questions.
That's all right. There's some people out there. As long as we got people viewing, man, I just hope people out there listening, and we talking about health, and we trying to get down into the nitty gritty, but it's basic. But I've been around for these 52 years, and I'm blessed. Now I ain't saying that I've been milling around a little bit. You know,
you go.
and but as far as knowing what to do, I know what to do.
Okay.
And I want y'all to understand that.
But we're not going to ask you what milling around, kind of.
You know, chasing rabbits,
Running in circles.
going down the rabbit hole.
Going down that rabbit hole. Okay. So but you're eating good now.
I stay balanced.
Okay.
You know, I've been on both sides, and I understand what has been in my own personal life. The vegan diet was the most performance level as far as for me. And when I was a vegan for all those years, we made our own tofu, made our own sprouts, we grew our own carrots, we had a nice garden with everything. Though now it's a lot more work to be a vegan. It has become easier because now it's a big network. It's a big network for vegans.
Whole food.
But what I gotta say to vegans is don't get comfortable eating all that cooked food, because I'm seeing all these vegan chefs frying all this stuff, cooking all this stuff. I don't care what oil you put it in. You're frying all this food and you're still thinking that you're being healthy. Vegetarians still have heart attacks. Vegetarians still have high cholesterol. So, and vegans too. But the only way to eliminate that is to try to eat more of your food natural.
Now, is this a myth? Is this a myth, you know, that when people become a vegan, they get really skinny? Can you answer that question? I know some people who are healthy vegans, you know.
Yeah. Once your body adjusts to the style of eating and you start to clean all that stuff out, because they say, here's the rule of fasting, just to add to. They say you should fast once every week and a week every year when you talk about fasting. Now, some people some people live off of that. These 18 out these fasts. There's a lot of different fasts out there that people are doing, and they go without all that food for 18 hours. You can go 16 hours. You can go 12 hours, and you just have a window in what you can eat. But as long as you eat a nice balanced meal when you do eat, your body can take care of itself with your exercise. A lot of people doing all this stuff and they don't want to do any exercise.
I got a question.
Once a week? Once a week? Like 18 hours within that day?
No, just you know, you're gonna have your fast overnight anyway. You got to, you know, that's why they call it break fast.
So one day is 24 hours. When you say one day you fast 24 hours.
That's what they say, to reset. Okay. Like they say, if you have any different diseases, it's a lot of diseases, but they say you can reset your body. You can reset your body with fasting. And for like 7 days. So
what time it is now?
So if you fasted for 7 days, drinking water, so you can kind of reset your system in a lot of ways. But you still got to do your colon cleanse. You got to do a lot of your blood cleanse, your kidney flushes, and all your adrenal gland. There's a lot of stuff out there to get yourself together.
I saw this guy said if you're going to do a week fast for just water, it has to be distilled water. Is that true?
I mean, I would probably understand why he would say that, because you're not putting nothing in there but just water, but there's no minerals in it. You're not doing none of that. You know, and the Ramadan is a month, and those brothers, I think they don't drink nothing. I think Ramadan is just a month of dry fasting. Now that's a dry fast.
They don't.
And I believe that's what Jesus did. That Jesus did 40 days.
Dry fast, no water,
fast.
No nothing. So is there any evidence? I know that there's evidence
of what type of fast.
Yeah, of what type of fast did Jesus did.
And I believe it was a dry fast. It's evidence, but you would have to go back and see what was more common. Because
what's a dry fast?
Where water, no nothing.
No water, no nothing for 40 days.
Yeah. And Jesus, it's hard to do that fast around people. So that's what makes me understand that Jesus did a dry fast, because he went away.
Okay.
He was away from people. It's hard to do those type of fasts and people eating and drinking water and you seeing that, because Jesus was 100% humanity and 100% divinity. So he understood that.
Some people gonna get mad.
It would be hard to do a dry fast.
Some people gonna get mad and say, no, you can't go a week without water.
Yeah. They would say that. But these people doing water. These people doing that with Ramadan, that's a dry fast too, I believe.
They're eating nothing.
They're eating and they're drinking nothing.
During the day. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I knew it had to be something. You can't just do nothing for 40 days.
And I would. That's interesting to find out a little bit more about the type of fast Jesus did. Yeah.
I mean, because
that would be interesting.
I'm asking that question because I want to know like specific scripture that says that he did this specific?
No,
fast?
it's not. It's not.
There's nothing in the scriptures.
It's not. It's not because you know.
Because fasting, I know in the Bible, fasting, like they got this thing called the Daniel fast, and I'm trying to. Okay, well, if it's called the Daniel fast,
Who called it the Daniel fast?
Churches.
Oh, okay, but
Called
you know
it
it
Daniel
wasn't.
fast.
It wasn't a fast.
So there's okay. So, all right.
You know, you're talking
So
about
basically-
when Daniel did that challenge.
So that's what it was, a challenge.
Yeah, he did that challenge. We say, let these boys eat this, where they ate vegetables, legumes. The Bible said Daniel talk about legumes and which is beans and vegetables. Let them eat that, and those boys came out a lot stronger than the other kids. It's in Daniel, but it wasn't. It was just vegetables,
Okay, so what you're saying? Some of these churches would take that
and they call it a fast.
and call it a fast. Daniel
Yeah, fast
Oh,
is
okay.
to refrain from eating.
Right. Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
we know what a fast is, but I'm just saying like the more popular.
Yeah, they put their own spin on it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about health tonight, and I don't know how long we've been, but I hope y'all enjoying it. We talking live, and we talking with some of my old buddies that we've been eating and drinking all kinds of stuff over the years, and we learned a lot. And we're at the point in our lives now that it's really important to really watch and pay attention to those things for our health. Come on with it, Rob.
I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question, right?
The camera on you, man. Don't act up, man.
I was just gonna ask, man.
I'm
like,
listening. We listening.
Is there any vegetarian liquor, like alcohol?
They say that tequila. So tequila is from a plant. Is that and you don't like tequila? So
I do like tequila.
okay, well you good.
This one, tequila.
They say tequila is from a
Love
plant.
tequila.
What about okay? So no.
So
no
that would be
bourbon?
considered
Is it a vegan
that
vegetarian?
would be considered vegetarian.
So no bourbon.
I would have to look into a little bit more about
No.
bourbon.
No.
I don't
Somebody got to
think
look
it's from a
into
plant.
it.
It's-
Yeah, he just
No, we got to look into it.
He
Yeah,
just going-
yes, no,
he-
I don't think it's from a plant. I
He
know
just going right
they
along
use-
with the shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I played it.
Because he like bourbon. He like bourbon. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
wait,
that's-
let me see if I think I can do it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I wasn't doing it for that, but I'm glad y'all said no. Any questions, Vic? Anybody out there? What we got views? How many viewers? Oh,
Hey,
just Davon. The
that's
other
They're
time we had like
watching
400 people. Or when we was talking about that.
Oh, it's just 22 people.
All right, I'm glad y'all
Shout out.
checking us out, man. Shout out
Shout out
to
to
everybody
22.
watching Chief All Podcast tonight. We talking about health. Ask a question. Throw something at us. It's so many different diets out there. So many different ways to eat. We can't do everything. Always remember that. You can't do everything. You got to have something that you can be consistent with, so you can set your life up and your kids and the people that you close to. So you can't do everything. I see one of these guys that used to be one way, and now he's way on the other end, doing these pineapple fasts, and they doing all this here. It's all kinds of stuff out there.
People reaching, man. They reaching.
But we just want to make sure we understand. At Chief All Podcast, we look at the big picture. Can it promote and do something for our communities? Can it help us in the long run? That's what we're about over here at Chief All Podcast. So if you got any questions, any comments, come on with it. No comments, neither, Vic?
That's a political question you just went into, because how do we do that in the community? We got to teach. We got to get out there and teach.
Yeah, teach, and then we could do
political
farms.
questions?
I mean, that's a political statement, because how you going to, Frank don't want to get involved with that.
No, I mean, I don't care.
What's the politics?
What's the
I can
politics?
understand what's the politics.
There you go. Come on.
What's the politics, Franklin?
I counsel everyone to check and always be studying health, nutrition, and looking into it, because it's worth it.
Stop eating
It's
those
worth it to
Cheetos.
It's
Flaming
worth it
hot
to you in the
Cheetos.
long run. This Chief All Podcast, we out.
Them Flaming hot Cheetos be good, boy.
We're going to go to our CHP over here, news anchor, political analyst.
Yeah.